No, it's some sort of trap.
Well, obviously it's a trap.
Once again, just like in Dr. No, where Bond sees a trap and he allows himself to jump into the trap. Patterson, go ahead and quote Dune.
Knowing there's a trap is the first step in evading it.
Yes. So in this...
My reading of the British mentality is that they always treat a trap as a challenge.
The English love a good trap, basically, which is hilarious. And what's really interesting is that Bond actually reacted to that photograph of Romanova. You would think that he'd look at it like blah, 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 and then you'd think he'd just be like, you know, like he was looking at a Playboy. But he looked at her photograph and was almost love-struck, which was
he did say
very
she
odd.
was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen.
You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Do you
So
think he
maybe
meant
it was-
that?
Yeah, but I
Put
think
short,
it's just everything.
She is desperately in love with him,
Yeah,
and it's not reciprocated,
yeah, I agree.
right?
Maybe they didn't let you in on all of it, but whatever you do know, tell me.
I know I love you, James. I love you.
Just tell me.
I love you. I love you. It's true.
Sure.
I mean, my point is that he plays the whole thing very professionally throughout, but there are moments where he's not quite as stoic as he should be. I mean, even things like he's on to Grant at the end. He's on to him. He's already questioning him. And then when he gets the butt of a gun to the back of the neck, and then he wakes up and he looks at him like that. Again, it's almost like, depending on who's playing Bond, they're kind of stoic in situations like that.
I always like to say that the better Bond films, and this film's kind of the exception to the rule, but the better Bond films tend to display some kind of humanity in Bond, where Bond isn't a superhero. And when I say that, I mean like not that he has superpowers, but that nothing really phases him. He's like, as you guys were saying, he's stoic.
He has moments of vulnerability.
Yeah, he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
He's not, and you see it in this movie, but like you said, he doesn't fall for the girl. The emotional stakes aren't quite as there as some of the other films are.
I prefer stoic Bond. I prefer Ice in His Veins Bond, and it's not just because it's superhero stuff, but because that's how James Bond copes with the world he lives in. He knows that he can't really have a comfortable home life and be a secret agent. It's one or the other, and being emotionally unavailable is how he survives within that world. He's like Spock. He understands that in this spy world context, emotionality is the first thing that's going to get you killed.
How can you act like this? How can you be so cold?
It's what keeps me alive.
It's kind of shown over time that Bond loves pussy, but he will always take the kill over pussy.
My escape route's only for one. What are you after? The girl or the Lektor?
He never falls for her. I mean, again,
Yeah.
you would think that when he looked at that photograph, he would go, oh, she's f***ing hot. But you wouldn't think that he would react to it like, whoa.
I get the feeling that he's overcompensating towards professionalism, like throughout the dialogue. He's like, no, let's keep to the point. Business now, pleasure later. And he's like forcing himself to stick to that.
My friend, she's got you dangling. That doesn't matter. All I want is that Lektor.
All? Are you sure that's all you want?
Well,
And imagine if it would have been more like a Casino Royale, Eva Green, where he did fall for her. That makes sense in the James Bond origin story that is Casino Royale, but in the context of this film, it would be a complete misstep if Bond fell for her.